Hello and thank you for joining us on another episode of our podcast Talking FIFA Mobile with FM Indian. Today we will be talking about the dividing opinions on July's Player of the Month, Thomas Partey, and whether the box-to-box boost is in fact the future of CDM cards. Joining me is my peer and fellow creator, 𝗚𝗚cie𝗁𝗃. Hey, welcome back to the show, 𝗚𝗚cie𝗁𝗃.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we both have been seeing the outrage of the people in Instagram, in Twitter, in Discord about Bruno Fernandes not getting a Player of the Month card because deep down we all wanted a cam card.
Yeah, I think well, all I say is that I think this is a much better selection than last time. I don't know exactly how well Partey did in his performances.
Yeah, same here. I didn't follow La Liga that much except for the Real Madrid matches and the Atletico versus Barcelona match. But Thomas Partey getting a Player of the Month card was really unexpected.
Yeah, I think at least the good thing is that it's a CDM card in the sense of that we didn't have a CDM Player of the Month card, so at least it's a new position. Which I think is good because if you're using CDM, at least you have a very cheap option with a good boost.
Yeah, and I have to accept that it's a very well balanced CDM card. We often see great CDM cards with great defensive stats, but they often lack in the shooting department. But this thing has better shooting than the team of the season reserves Dennis Jakaria card. Means that's really insane.
Yeah, I think it's a little less versatile than like a striker, right? Because like Havertz at least is like a striker, so almost everyone uses a striker, so they could use.
Yes.
But for example, I don't use CDM, so it wasn't very useful. But I think the people who use formations, 4-1-2-1-2,
Or 352.
yeah,
How many more Player of the Month cards will we see in this season? My guess is two.
if we'll have August one and probably maybe a September one because I believe the it's clear the season is going to end quick soon. I don't expect to see it in October, maybe at the latest September. So if you look at the season, like the events and how it goes, I saw my content from last year, and it went from treasure hunt, and then from treasure hunt it was preseason. So I think we're only waiting. The next event, in my opinion, will probably be preseason, and after preseason, there's really nothing much. It's just the end of the event, the end of the season. So we're really looking at towards the end. So maybe like one or two Player of the Month cards left.
Well, the transfer window is open till the 5th of October, so I really don't think that as soon as the present events are completed, there will be a immediate preseason event because there are UCL matches in the August. So my predictions are that we will be seeing a UCL event. That's so sure. And really, I have some second thoughts about the Europa League event. I think it will be a pack only event. And somewhere in between or before, we will be seeing a retro stars event. There are plenty of events, I think.
Yeah, they might add new events. Uh, Hopefully they add, just to make things interesting as the season ends. We would love to see a new event, a new something to look forward to, something new, something exciting.
So we have been seeing a number of CDM cards in the game with a very unusual boost. Primarily CDM cards go with Destroyer or on very rare cases interceptions. But Since the Bundesliga team of the season so far dropped in, we saw a 88 rated CDM Serdar card with box to box boost. And after that, we saw a 100 rated CDM icon card 𝗦𝗽cie𝗁𝗶𝗴𝗆𝗀 with a box to box boost. And then in the Treasure Hunt Atlantis event, we saw a 96 rated Jorginho CDM card with box to box boost. And after the new batch of icons dropped, we saw a 85 rated CDM card of Michael Essien with box to box boost. And as we all know, box to box boost increases the long shot stats in the player, which raises a big question. Is box to box the future meta for CDM cards? Because, let's be honest, we have seen players who use formations with one or two CDMs often complain about their CDMs missing chances in versus attack matches.
Looking at it, what I noticed is that I think that Destroyer is definitely much better in defending. But if you look at the pace, and if you look especially at the shooting, box to box CDMs are they're faster, they have more shooting, and I personally don't use CDM, especially because of the versatile aspect. You said, they get a lot of chances and they don't make them very often. But I think the pace and the shooting is going to help definitely if you use CDMs and you want to score in verse attack. In terms of defending, though, I still think I think it's a matter of really whether you want to reduce boost or you want to maintain, whether it be defending or you want to improve in first attack. I think that Destroyer it's a very good boost, but especially in these formations that use CDM, it's not very ideal because it adds one boost. Especially if you have one CDM, you're just adding one more boost. I think maybe if you use a 3-5-2, then it's somewhat redeemed because you're using two. So, but I think box to box could be useful if you're trying to reduce boost, if you're trying to get to like 5 boost or maybe even less. But I don't know. I personally think that the defending aspect of it, if you look at Partey versus, Mateus, it's just a large gap between defense.
Even if you look at Partey versus Jorginho, the difference between the defensive stats are staggering.
It's too low. I think it's too low, in my opinion. I think honestly, it's if you want to use box to box for a CDM, I would probably be using it only as a midfielder, not really to defend as much, but just as an extra midfielder. If you want to think it like that, because if you want to use a CDM who's going to defend, then I'll just do Destroyer. But if you just want to add another midfielder, that just so happens to be a CDM in this position, because if you use like 4-3 holding, right? If you use that, then all your midfielders will be box to box. If you use the box to box CDM, which is good, it's one boost for the whole midfield. But it might be difficult if you use like 5 midfielders. Then that might be an issue. But it really depends on what you want. If you're very frustrated, I've seen a lot of people complain about CDMs missing a verse attack. So if that's really an issue for you, then you should consider getting a box to box midfielder.
Since FIFA, whether it's on console or on mobile, has always been an attacker's game rather than a defender's game, so a boost that only increases the attacking stats of a CDM was, inevitable.
Yeah, I do like that they're expanding some cards for other boosts, as we saw in the team this season. I don't know how much more they'll do that, but it's really exciting seeing that.
The ultimate team of the season players really messed up people's plan.
But it really depends how you're looking at it. I personally think it was a good thing.
No, don't get me wrong. I also think it was a good thing they did. At least for me. I got an attacking boost striker
and a second striker boost cam. But let me tell you, there are hippies who think otherwise.
Definitely, especially like for example, let's take Kimmich, right? If you take Kimmich, he has holding. Would be ideal if you have one CDM, right? But if you have two, then there's no really point of getting him because you're just gonna have either box to box, gonna have destroyer. So it's kind of counterintuitive. But but for example, if you take like Ronaldo who has attacking, right? If you have three in the front, you could have your whole attack attacking. For me, example, I right now I have two strikers. So I have an attacking striker, which is Ronaldo, and I have acceleration, Werner. So it's kind of issue upgrading. So I can't upgrade Werner's boost anymore because I'm going to eventually have to replace him.
I also had a similar problem. I switched to a back three during the Team of the Season event, and when the Ultimate Team of the Season players dropped, I saw a great card, 99 rated centre back 𝗦𝗽liche 𝗁𝗲. But the only drawback was that it had a defending boost, and all my other centre backs had holding, so I didn't upgrade the boost just to save coins.
Yeah, especially if you had a back four. Even if you had a back four, right? You have a left back and a right back that you're defending. You get Matt Hummels, the other center back is going to have holding. It's kind of like you're not really. There's not much improvement except for like the stats, because boost wise, you're still paying the same, right? And you're even paying more for just one player, right? So I think it's a very good concept that they did, but unless they really expand it further, right? They add another defending center back.
Or another CDM with holding boost. Until then, I guess people are going to struggle consolidating their boosts.
Yeah.
As always, it was wonderful having you here on the podcast, BARCAFUT17.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Comment down below with your feedback. It's always important to us. You can also DM me on Instagram. My handle is @FM_Indian. Till then, I will see you next time.